Shalom. I would like to share with you an idea about Megillat Esther. And first of all, I have to say, frankly, is that I have to maybe to beg your pardon, to apologize from the beginning, that my idea maybe will challenge some of you, specifically you that are listening to me in English. I would like to speak about the idea of Mordechai lo ichra v'lo ishtachaveh. This fact that he didn't bow to Haman, what is the meaning behind it? What is his reason? Because usually we know that most of the Mefarshim, Chazal says that the reason that he didn't do it because it was a religious region, because he knew that it's not appropriate to bow to Haman, because he made himself in any sort of idol, any sort of religion reason. But according to the Pshat, there is no any hint in the Pshat that this was a reason, because as we know, halachically, there is no any problem to bow to just to express honor to a king, to someone that is important, if you are not doing it in religious circumstances. And therefore, it wasn't any problem about doing it. So what is the reason that Mordechai actually chose to behave in this way, lo lichora v'lo ishtachavot, and to put himself in danger? So it seems to be that the reason was a national reason. The fact that he felt that he should be proud, any sort of ga'ava leumit, of national proud, that he is not going to bow and to humiliate himself in front of this guy of Haman. But when we think about it, according to the Pshat, we can realize, we can see that actually this behavior, this was the behavior that actually brought the tzara, the problem. Because of this, Haman came with the idea to kill all the Jews, to destroy all the Jewish people in Kol Malchut Achashverosh. So what is right or wrong with this kind of behavior? And more than that, when we look what is the things that actually brought the salvation, the miracle of the Hatzalah, of the Yeshua, of the salvation, actually this was the behavior of Esther, when she had to cry and to beg from Achashverosh, ותאסף Esther, ותבך, ותתחנן, ותיפול לרגליו. This kind of galuti behavior, this was the way out from the tzara. So what is the meaning behind it? What is the message behind this phenomena? So I think that we have to say that there is a message here about all the story of Megillat Esther. We have to know that historically the stories, the events in Megillat Esther took place in a time that the chance to live in Eretz Israel was a real chance. It was after the declaration of Koresh that he called all the Jews and he gave them the permission to go to live in Eretz Israel. But as we know, most of the Jews just chose to stay in the Galut because it was very nice life. It was very nice from any point of view. Nehenu miseudato shel haTorah Rasha. In the language of Chazal, they enjoy to live in Shushan Abira. It was very nice. They assimilated within the Malchut Achashverosh. They even had foreign names. Mordechai and Esther are Persian names. As we know, they felt quite good in the Galut. At the same time, there were a small group of Jews that struggled very, very difficult to build a new life in Eretz Israel in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. And the Torah wants to, and the story of the Megillah maybe wants to teach us how poor is this kind of Geulah in the time of Galut. How poor is this Geulah, redemption, in a circumstance of Galut. Because when we look about the story of Purim, although we are very happy about the fact that Hashem saved us from discrimination in the time of Purim, but at the end of the Megillah, it's not such a beautiful, happy hand. The fact that Esther is still in the hands of this crazy king, Achashverosh, that one day he wants to kill all the Jews, on the other day he's ready to kill, that the Jews will kill their enemies. It's not just such a Jewish, happy end of a story when Esther is still in the hands of this Achashverosh, this crazy king. So it seems to be that there is a very ironic salvation here, even bitter salvation. It was a miracle, it was a salvation, but still we are in the Galut. And in the Galut, to try to be proud, Jewish, proud, the national pride in the Galut, there's no room to this kind of behavior in the Galut. This behavior actually brought the tzara, the problems, the decree against the Jews. And just the Galutic, the typical Galut behavior of Esther, that she had to beg and to ask and to make any sort of lobbying in Achashverosh, this was a way out from the tzara in the Galut. That maybe the message is, if you want to be a really a Jew, a proud Jew, we have to come to Eretz Israel. This behavior in the Galut, of the behavior of Mordechai, lo yichrav lo yishtachaveh, actually brought the problems in the Galut. And Dafka, the behavior of Esther, that she had to humiliate herself in order to just to ask the goodwill of Achashverosh to save the Jews, this was a way out from the problem in the Galut. And I think this is a message that it worthwhile to think about. I would like just to add a short story to illustrate this idea that actually happened to me about 20 years ago when I was shaliach in London. We had a minyan of Bnei Akiva, and usually in the minyan of Bnei Akiva we say tefillah l'shlom ha'medina, for the state of Israel, and we say tefillah for the Queen of England, the great United Kingdom, the great Queen of England. And one Shabbat, when I was in the tefillah, the Bogrim of Bnei Akiva said, you know what, we are Tzionim, we are Zionists, so there's no way that we'll say tefillah for the Queen. Just in our minyan we'll say just tefillah l'shlom medinat Israel. And I, surprisingly for them, it was very surprising. Surprised, I said, I disagree. I think we are now in England, we have to say tefillah l'shlom hamalka. If you don't feel good about it, there is just one chance to correct it, to change it. If you make aliyah, you come to Israel, then you can say just tefillah l'shlom medina. When you are in England, you have to remember all the time, you are in the Galut. In the Galut, we have to pray for the place, for the state that you live in. There is one way to live a really Jewish, full Jewish life with a proud of being Jew and being Israeli, and the place is here in Israel. Here we can say tefillah l'shlom medina and to feel this kind of ga'ava laumit. Purim sameach.